in fewer customers and lower profits.
Yung mga paninda namin na madali lang mabili dati, ngayon hirap na. Yung isang piraso lang ng paninda namin dati, nabibili, dalawa, minsan isa na lang. Lalo na yung sa mga leche plan namin.
The same goes for Cristobal, who noticed fewer buyers even amid the holiday season.
Hindi masyadong madami.
Bakit, ma'am?
At saka mas mabili yung mga segunda kasi siyempre mahal yung puti eh. Yung segunda 90, 80, 85 mga ganun. Siyempre naglaylo sila sa puti dahil siyempre mahal. Hindi rin masyado sila kasi mahal nga. Yung iba siguro bumibili na lang ng paunti-unti. Kahit nga ako hindi rin ako magluluto.
White sugar now costs 95 to 100 pesos a kilo, while brown sugar is at 80 to 85 pesos a kilo. To stabilize the prices, the government will need to import 64,050 metric tons of sugar. President Bongbong Marcos has since ordered to fast-track sugar importation, but the United Sugar Producers Federation of the Philippines is opposing this. They said the problem is in the implementation of the suggested retail price.
Daming-dami ng asukal. Ang problema po, nasa retail. Doon ang problema. It's government's problem on how to implement the SRP. Hindi na basta-basta lang, pa-import. Hindi naman. Walang kasalanan tong supply po.
The group added that higher costs of fertilizer and oil are driving up the prices of sugar. Meanwhile, the Samahang Industriya ng Agrikultura doesn't see a problem, as long as the imported sugar arrives staggered within several months.
If the whole volume of 64,000 metric ton come in January, we have some problem because of our farmers still harvesting in first part of January.
The group added that retailing issues should be also factored in, citing the Sugar Regulatory Administration's failure to stabilize the prices through importation. For News 5, Faith Del Mundo, we are One News.
The relatively low number of COVID-19 deaths in China is fueling suspicions of underreporting as Beijing faces a massive surge in infection. The details in this report from Bloomberg.
It's been just over a month since China started backing away from COVID-0, but the country's only reported 16 COVID deaths. That's in a country of 1.4 billion people. Given what we know from other places after they reopened, as well as China's own experience, the low fatality rate just doesn't stack up.
You have a situation basically where we're almost flying blind when it comes to the COVID data in China. We can't trust the cases data. It's completely not representative. They have severely narrowed the definition of what a COVID death is. China, like a lot of places in the world, saw anybody who died while they were COVID positive as a COVID death. Now, only people who die while COVID positive from a respiratory condition are counted as a COVID death, and that's why you've seen a dramatic drop in the number of deaths, and you're just not seeing any deaths reported on some days, despite what we know to be a rip-roaring outbreak. Beijing seems to have been hit hardest. We're hearing about crematoriums that have been overwhelmed, hospitals with bodies piling up, because it's in their interests. Now that they've switched to living with COVID, they want to see a really big bang, fast outbreak that they can then just move on from. Official rhetoric from scientists to the top leaders is that COVID is very mild, you're very unlikely to die from it, that it's something you can work with. There's no doubt that COVID-0, the lockdowns, were hugely damaging to China's economy. That was a key pressure point on why they needed to shift away from it, because COVID is coursing through the country. People are sick. People are afraid of being sick. People aren't out consuming, and you are going to see disruption on what is, the world's factory floor. But what a lot of economists are betting is that first initial wave will pass over a couple of months, and then people, like they have elsewhere in the world, will do things like revenge spending. I do think we will see that, but I think that people are underplaying the fact that COVID doesn't go away. It's not going away anywhere in the world. So that's something China will have to grapple with.
We're pausing for a quick break, but we will be back with more stories after that. Keep it here on One News. You're still watching One News Now. I'm Sean Yao. More legal challenges are in the offing for suspended BuCor Chief Gerald Bantag. Marlene Alcaide with the details.
Aside from murder complaints over the death of broadcaster Percy Lapid, suspended Corrections Chief Gerald Bantag is set to face a plunder complaint as well. BuCor Acting Chief Catapang is accusing Bantag of making unauthorized payments.
Well, kasi there's a budget of about 1 billion, no? And the 1 billion consists of 3 buildings or 3 facilities worth 300 million each. Pero we came to realize that it's only 60% finished. So we would like to look into this in as much as these are public funds that have to be accounted for.
Catapang added that project documentations appear to have been forged.
People responsible to assess the permits or the extent of accomplishment accepted that indeed they were told to doctor the documents.
Catapang also said that there are witnesses who are ready to testify on these claims.
Of course, it's the higher up. It cannot happen that wala yung it's just a simple employee that ordered that they be doctored. Galing sa taas yung order, and they mentioned the name of Bantag as the one who ordered them.
The Commission on Audit will also be tapped to look into questionable payments.
Unfortunately nga, we were asking the COA, how come this happened? 4 na payments na nagawa, and yet there's no post-audit. So, we already also informed the secretary about the situation, and the secretary told me to write COA and request.
Plunder cases against Bantag and other involved may be filed by year-end or early 2023. Bantag's camp has yet to issue a statement on the matter. For News 5, Marlene Alcaide, we are One News.
And here is a quick look at today's other top stories. The Bureau of Internal Revenue has suspended all field audits and other operations until January 8 next year. The audit suspension excludes tax evasion cases and transactions concerning estate tax returns. The Malampaya gas field will be on maintenance shutdown from February 4 to 18 next year. This means that power plants will need to switch to alternative sources of fuel. Energy Secretary Rafael Lotilla says talks are underway to ensure steady power supply for the Luzon grid. Thousands of fans flocked to Parañaque for the Eraserheads' Huling El Bimbo reunion concert. The show lasted for 3 hours, with the band performing their best hits from the 90s. For more updates, visit News 5, The Philippine Star, and Business World online. Visit our website, onenews.ph, for more in-depth analysis. You can also catch One News on Signal Play. Register for a free account at www.signalplay.com and stream One News Live anytime, anywhere. I am Sean Yao. We are One News.